All right, it is the family saga that has really caught the attention of the nation. And this morning, Mark Tromp did return home after a harrowing 5-day search.
That is the good news. The Tromp family travels this week have certainly been somewhat bizarre, and many questions still remain unanswered. So to discuss, we've got Brendan Jones from WSFM coming in, as well as Shell-Shocked Media's Shelly Horton. Let's go to you, Jonesy, first of all. I mean, it is a fascinating story, but we should be mindful of the fact that we're probably talking about a mental illness here.
Yes.
But still, must be frightening and also somewhat sad that it's gotten to this.
You know, it's like one of the, and you know when you see a horror movie like Nightmare on Elm Street or something, and all this stuff happens, and then you think, who's going to explain this in the end? I'm not saying there's like Freddy Krueger running around, but like it's like the aftermath of one of those things. But it's a group delusion, isn't it? Isn't there such a thing?
So Sandy Ray was on the show earlier talking about that. Yeah,
like people in isolation, they live on a sort of a farm. They're by themselves. They just feed off their own paranoid delusions. Maybe this is what's happening.
Yeah, and it's quite extraordinary because the children, adult children, who have been all caught up in this as well, and finding phones thrown out the windows of cars. I mean, it has been an intriguing.
But what about the fact that we know that the phone was thrown out the car window as they were fleeing, which is part of their point that they were being tracked. And you know, so maybe they've got a point.
And it goes
that
back to my theory of it's like a, after a horror movie.
I think it's,
like Terminator. Remember when Terminator finishes?
Just like
at the end of Sarah Connor, and you think, well, who's going to clean all this up? Who's going to explain that? Maybe. I'm not saying that there's a cyborg from another dimension after them, but
I'm fascinated by this. I'm already seeing it as a telemovie. Like I can see. I don't know if we'll ever have any answers, but the thing is, the only thing that sort of plays on my mind is the fact that he was flipping the bird to the media. Maybe he's the charismatic cult leader who's convinced his family of something. I don't know.
But that might fall into, I mean, Sandy was talking about how you can go through these psychotic episodes, so that might have been a result of that. Anyway.
Yeah.
And fortunately, everyone has come out of this, well, because that was the big issue, that they've got their father back, and it's Father's Day. That is the good end result out of what
I thought at first that Trump had gone missing.
I
saw that, I went, Trump's gone missing. I went, well, there you go.
No.
Speaking of delusion.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Up next, we'll take a look at the school fundraising. We've been happily indulging in some Hague's chocolates earlier, and really, was that your phone tweeting?
No,
it was me.
It was you.
Sorry.
I think that's a case of beer for the crew.
Okay. Now, who doesn't remember the sweet treats at school fundraisers? Chocolate bars, donuts, sausage rolls. But they could soon be traded out for this. Garden sales walkathons under this plan by the Federation of Parents Citizens Association to ban chocolate sales. It's for a good idea, but Shelley,
look,
really?
Having just had some of those chocolates,
they're good, right?
They're so good. However, I think this is a great idea. We're trying to stop obesity. We're trying to have chocolate as a sometimes food, like every time you come on to Weekend Today. But seriously, have the walkathon, do things like that. I think it's actually a really smart thing to do. I had spent a year in primary school in Canada. My parents were both teachers and we lived over there. When it was just like completely snowbound, their school fundraiser was to get a truck of oranges from Florida, and then everyone got fresh oranges, and that was like the whole school was excited. So that was so good because there's nothing growing on trees at that time.
That would totally cheer you up.
In my college in St Augustine's College in Cairns, they banned Coca-Cola when I was in high school. It was quite controversial at the time, but I don't know whether it's still happening or not. But it was greeted pretty well.
Chocks. Well, because I ended up just buying those chocks because I couldn't be bothered going around from house to house selling them. So I just give the kid $30, take the box of chocks and just eat them myself.
And you're Dad of the Year.
I'm Dad of the Year.
Bringing those home.
I'm a bit wide on the sugar, but, that's it.
And speaking of Dads of the Year, happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Look at do you want to see my gifts?
What did you get?
I got a pair of...
is that from the Today Show?
I got a pair of sockies.
Beautiful.
Today Show socks. And I got a pen. Look at this pen. Look at that. And look, watch it. Ooh, then the ship gets naked. Oh, sorry, cover that up. Cover that up.
What are you doing properly today, though, with the family?
I'm avoiding them all day. I hit the surf. And then...
you got a leave pass.
Yeah, they'll leave me the hell alone.
Your father says to be alone, thanks.
That's great. I've only had 2 requests thus far for money at this time. And
well, it's only early.
The girl at the front desk said Happy Father's Day, and that's the first person that's wished me a Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
I'm getting on.
And you got a present even though it's not Father's Day for you. What did you
I've
get?
just been away in Melbourne working, and so my husband sent me roses, and I said, why did you send them to Channel 9? He's like, so everyone could see what a good husband I am.
Clever cookie.
Clever.
Clever cookie.
Very clever. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Well, thank you for having us.
It's nice
Enjoy
to
the
out there.
surf.
Enjoy the surf.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have all the news headlines and an update on a major fire in Brisbane. That's coming up next. Stay with us.